Hello, good day out there. Great to meet you on this platform as we continue with our discussion on drug addiction. Welcome to the fourth lecture. And today we shall be examining drug addiction behavior and the need for intervention. Addiction is different from just bad habit. Actually, when we're looking at addiction, whether drugs or substance abuse, porn, food, and anything you can think about, they don't begin as addiction. It begins as a new behavior, patterned and platooned by the power of a single thought. It comes as a thought pattern and it is conceived from there to become something else. You build imagination round about it, then it goes to your sensation as feelings. Oh, I feel like taking drugs. I feel like doing this or that. And from feelings, your emotion becomes activated. What do you notice? You are beginning to get passionate about it. And from there, you manifest it as action. And after a repeated time, it becomes an attitude. An attitude is what you communicate to people at the other end. So, in drug addiction, it is pivotal for you to know that it is first a cyclical order that arrests your attention, sees your emotion, draws your passion towards it, and as a law in the school of attraction, wherever your attention goes, there your energy flows. And this is the beginning of the bad habit. So, addiction begins as a bad habit from that cycle I told you. And so, when it begins, it is first a mentality in your mind before it becomes a modality on your feet, through your hands, your eyes, and every other thing. You can't call it an addictive behavior until it has captured you on the inside and then begins to direct and pilot your affairs on the outside. So, three behavioral positions operates within a man who wants to begin a journey into addiction. Addiction is not a journey. It is a destination you arrive in. You arrive into based on various journeys in bad behavior. So the first behavioral position you need to identify and identify with is the good behavior, where the good habits in line with your personal lifestyle protocol is just in charge. You coordinate yourself. You don't break your own rules and your daily routines. To such people, they get up straight to achieve their goal and their aim without any interference through bad thoughts that will lead them to bad behavior. So they do things clean and straight in good and great habits, no strings attached. You don't veer off. You are just principled and you set out your goal per day and you achieve it. That is the first behavioral position. And then the second behavioral position that fosters the beginning of the journey to drug addiction is the bad habits. Habits die hard. And so be careful what habits you begin to embrace, either through peer pressure Oh, people are doing it. My friends are doing it. I was advised when I take drug, I'll be strong. I forget my sorrow and all of those jargons people say around their justification for going to do drugs. You know what? Once you are trapped in the second behavioral position called the bad place, you begin to veer off your lifestyle protocol. You begin to disobey your own personal routines. You begin to do things that are outside of the box. You veer off. And in doing that, you start traveling the wrong route in your attitude, in your behavior, in your ways of doing things. You puncture your lifestyle protocol to deposit some pollutions there and some contaminations. At that moment, you are said to be in violation in your inside. What are you violating? Your lifestyle protocol, your daily routine, and your habits. And once you encourage violation within, of course, you will become violent on the outside. So violence is no longer a thing of power or force, or you do one havoc or the other. You first violate yourself inside, that paves the way for violence on the outside. Now, what is the third behavioral position? The third one is called the ugly position. This is where several journeys outside of your lifestyle protocol in the bad order begins to reach a peak where you find yourself competing with your original life. At this moment, the bad habit as a behavior no longer becomes a journey. It has now become a new destination, entirely different from your life journey. So what do you find? You veer off completely. You now have another life within you that struggles with your original. And that is why you find anybody in addiction not being able to say no to the risk factors and the triggers. They seem to enjoy it, even when there's nothing to enjoy there. So, journey to addiction begins from just a simple thought that you accommodate. In as much as that thought has not taken over you and you are not obeying it, simple surface cancelling could suffice. And you simply walk away by a simple effort and aid. You can even choose to walk away yourself. You say, no, 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 I no longer do it. Because it is at the realm of bad habit. At that realm, you see, the incentive for drug and addiction comes in beggarly, pleading with you, trying to cut your love and your affection for it. Is not forceful here because it is just a little deviation from your normal self. But you know what? Once you keep repeating the bad attitude and habit, it will grow up to become something else. And before you know it, it becomes a lifestyle that you keep doing, that you can't say no to, even when you know the repercussion. It will be as if you have not serviced it, you don't have a life yet. So let me show you a few things that happen when a man is in addiction, whether drug addiction, addiction to bad behavior, porn, food, and even every other thing that looks good on the surface. It becomes an addictive behavior once that thing is controlling you and you no longer have a life of yourself except to sponsor that addiction. So, the journey of bad habits, traveling soon become a destination that has grown up so well to compete with your original life. Once you find an attitude, a habit that unfavorably and unfortunately, of course, begins to compete with your original life and you cannot say no to it, you are in addiction already. So the destination is called the ugly place. That is where you know what right thing to do, but just cannot do it because it has now become a force here saying, no, 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 I have come to rule over you here. You gave me room, now I am the landlord. And whatever is my dictate, that is what you will do. So what is addiction? Several bad habits that is repeated over time, feeding on you and especially on your original life as a parasite. Remember, it didn't come in as a parasite. It comes in first as a complement. Ask anyone who is into addiction today. They will always tell you, oh, I went into it because I needed this, or I was down, and you see, it helped me in so way. That is how it works. So motivation will never work here to bringing out anybody who is into addiction. It's not by education to show them, oh, you know, it's not good to do drugs, it's not good to do this and that. So I want to show you 7 reasons and 7 things that happen when an individual becomes addicted. Number 1, a point of violation is created. What is the point of violation? You puncture your original life, and then the essence of your real life begins to flow away. So you violate. You lose your own original element to that question of addiction. So the normal good life is being punctured. And when it is punctured, what happens? The evidence of your original life filters away. And then number 3, you condone pollution or contamination. You are no longer yourself. You just discover that your behavior changes now. An external influence has come inside you to make you what you are not supposed to be and to do exactly who you are not. Number 4, a deviant behavior gap is created between your original life that seeks to do it straight and the fake life that has veered up. So between the original life and the fake life is a deviant behavior gap. And you know, in life actually, there's no vacuum. Something will have to fill it. And that is the surprising thing why you find any human being in addiction having some other series of bad lifestyle just accompanying it. Because there's a gap between the original life and the fake life. That gap keeps widening as it grows in bad habit and bad behavior. And so many other bad behavior, deviant behavior, comes in to fill it. And that's why you find them hearing voices, telling them things to do. I want you to know that whatever fills a man speaks to him. Whatever is inside a man guides him, either the good, the bad, and the ugly. For an individual who is in addiction, you know what? The gap so created between his original life and the bad life begins to speak to him. At times he hears the good order, and at times he hears the bad order. So everything in the gap speaks, directs, and derives its energy and the food from the original life. So the parasite, the addiction, feeds on your original, beside polluting it. And that's why just surface counseling will not do it. Because there is a pollution on the inside. There is a contamination of life, of attitude, of emotions. So counseling does not finish this. It is intervention. And in intervention, what do? You try to identify the root cause what is the cause, what is the situation on ground for which you have solution for. And through strategy, you are able to route it and sort it out. This is what we call therapy. So in therapy, it is not just about the talk. It is about you knowing and identifying with what is going on the inside. And as a professional, you offer solutions through the appropriate strategy. And at the end of the day, the individual gets free. So the inner competition is taken away and the person becomes free on the outside. So there's a life competing on the inside. There is a life that tells you, see, you are not normal. There is a life that tells you something else is taking root over you. So you hear their emotions not being stable anymore. They pant here and there, not settled and not stable on the inside. So what do you notice? Another world is going on inside to afflict the individual outside. So there's the need for therapy to crush the element of addiction. So in therapy, you are able to help the individual appreciate his condition and all the bad things that are ongoing on the inside, so that through a particular line of action, you can help the individual out. When it is bad on the inside, it will of course be bad on the outside. So drug addiction takes a while. It grows through processes and procedure. And once it becomes planted on the inside, the individual is already vulnerable. So addiction, it's a behavior different from your original behavior that keeps you in bondage or freedom, depending whether the addiction is a good one, the bad one, or the ugly one. When it is the bad and the ugly one, of course, intervention is necessary. So, request for resources to be able to do intervention. And I recommend for you the knowledge and the expertise of a professional through the 5T model of behavior intervention model. What is the 5T model? In the 5T model, you teach. That is education. Secondly, you test. That is evaluation. Thirdly, you treat. That is intervention. And fourthly, you train the result so that your client can appreciate and integrate it. So that is integration. And the fifth is you trust it out as an incentive for execution so that other people can learn, hear, and do it right. I hope you pick a lesson or two over this. Drug addiction is reroutable. It can be routed. You can walk away from it. Show up and sign up so that you can be helped. Remember, it is first a mentality and then it becomes a modality. Thank you so very much and bye-bye.